Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of All Six Sides, our podcast where we explore the world of disc golf from every angle. I left my job at Apple after over 11 years last fall, so this was my first full year doing only six-sided discs, and I have to say it has been an incredible year. We'll be answering your questions and responding to your comments throughout this video, but I just want to stop first right up front and say thank you so much to every single person that has watched our content, liked it, shared it, commented, criticized, whatever. We just appreciate that you're interacting with it and participating in what we're doing. And of course, a huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, our Discord members, everyone from our local community that supported us. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So for the first time in 2024, hey everyone, it's Greg from Six Sided Discs. Hey everyone, it's Greg from Six Sided Discs. Hey everyone, it's Greg from Six Sided Discs, and happy holidays. Hey everyone, it's Greg from Six Sided Discs. Hey everyone, it's Greg from Six Sided Discs. So hey everyone, it's Greg from Six Sided Discs. Hey everyone, it's Greg from Six Sided Discs. Wow, I have said that quite a bit this year. And hopefully that helps Always Classy Guy 21 on Reddit, who even after watching week after week referred to me as, quote, the main guy, whose name I'm embarrassed I can't remember. Though in his defense, he very much remembered when I replied to his comment. Plus, he said I have a, quote, buttery smooth radio voice, which is something my dad's been telling me for years. And while I appreciate it, my dad is still telling me I need to get into TV. So could some of you please leave a comment and let him know that you're watching this on your smart TV right now? Anyways, let's get into the fun stuff and answer some of your questions. Our first couple questions are tech related. So question one is from Jim3 on Discord, who asks, what software application do we use for video production? And question two is kind of also tech related from Leary the Cable Guy 9504 on YouTube, who asks, how would you go about making disc golf content on a small budget? What editing softwares would you use? How would you edit in-flight path lines? What microphones, etc.? Thank you so much, first and foremost, for the questions. I'll answer all of these together. So we use Final Cut Pro for editing. We recently upgraded from an M1 Mac Mini to a Mac Studio, which has the M2 Max system on a chip. Obviously, as a former Apple guy, we're still totally into the Apple ecosystem. I don't really see that changing. I've used Windows before, and I don't really like it. So what can I say? But if you were starting a channel now, and I think a mistake that a lot of people make is they go all in and they throw a bunch of money at it because they think that the production quality has to be higher for people to watch it. And that's not true at all. If you go back and watch even early Mr. Beast videos, you can tell he's just filming with whatever he's got available. The quality stinks. I think on YouTube or on a platform like YouTube, it's just all about continuously putting out content that, steady stream of stuff keeps you engaged with your audience. So how you go about that doesn't really matter, but there are some good budget-friendly options. If you're on a Mac platform, iMovie is free. It comes with every Mac, and that's what we used for maybe the first 2 years that we were making videos. We switched over to Final Cut Pro earlier this year, and while I'm happy about that, it is a little bit more work because we can do more with it. You also don't have to get super fancy with what you're using to record. Use your phone. I'm sure most Android phones have great cameras. I know iPhones have great cameras. I'm recording this video right now on the front-facing camera of my iPhone 14 Pro. I use the rear camera for recording all our on-course shots. I've got an inexpensive tripod. So you don't have to have this crazy fancy equipment to put together good quality content. Outside of a Mac platform, I think if you're working on a PC, you could start out trying a free application like DaVinci Resolve. You could also do an inexpensive subscription through Adobe Creative Cloud and try out Adobe Premiere. There are tons of videos online that you can watch to learn more about those softwares and how to edit with them and maybe figure out which one might work best for you. That would be my suggestion on where to start with those. Some other equipment that we use would include this Shure SM7B podcasting microphone, but we started out with something like a $50 microphone from Amazon. And if I had it over to do again, I would just record the audio on my phone. It's perfectly acceptable to get started. Obviously, it has issues with the wind if you're recording stuff outside, but you don't have to have crazy expensive equipment. And now that we've been able to monetize our channel and continue to improve our production quality, we do also have a drone, the DJI AC Mini 2, which is great. The battery is enough for us to go out and record for a little over an hour of consecutive drone shots. I can charge some of the batteries while I'm using the other one. So that'll get us a little more recording time. But I think if we were going out and doing a ton of drone footage, we would need something with a lot more battery power. Oh, and also for tracing shots, we use the Ace Trace app. All right, that's enough tech for now, even though I could talk about it all day. Let's move on to another question from at Matiga JDax on YouTube, as well as Gem3 in Discord. How long does it take to make your videos from ideas to filming, editing, and posting? So I would say it depends. Where we started earlier this year, we were recording everything very sequentially, kind of from start to finish, one video at a time. And while that worked for a little while, it quickly became really stressful because I had to get out to film every single week, whether the weather was good or not, whether the wind was good or not, and had to rush to finish every single video. So in the last couple of months, we've kind of reworked our process. We now go out to the course and shoot 3 to 5 videos worth of on-course footage. Just in one day, we'll go out and get that done over the course of several hours. And then we bring that footage back and start going through it, organizing it by video, figuring out what shots we liked, and then start tracing those and figuring out which ones are actually going to end up in the final edit. And all of that sort of happens before we actually write a script and sort of know exactly where we're landing in terms of how did we feel about how the discs flew, how are we comparing them against each other. So there's a lot of work on the course, and then there's a lot of work off the course. Everything about how we get this done is a great opportunity for me to talk about who we is. So we obviously includes me. You see me on camera, and I do a decent portion of the editing, but there are a lot of people helping out with things that are going on here at Six Sided Discs. My wife, Emily, handles all of our financial stuff, but she's also a great partner in bouncing ideas back and forth and figuring out what series we're prioritizing, what discs we're trying to include in those, where can we source them from? Are we trying to get them in as part of our regular wholesale orders, or do we need to try and find those locally or even pay full retail online and get them in? So we're always working together to figure those things out. She's just a huge part of like the general operations here at Six Sided Discs. Also, her mom, Diana, has been a huge help, not only at our traveling pop-up shops, which Emily also helps with, but also now taking on editing using our old computer. She's starting to learn some of the basics of editing, so I can sort of go out and shoot a portion of footage, give it to her, and let her sort of do the first pass, cut out the bloopers, save them so that I can put them at the end of the video, of which there will be plenty in this one, I'm sure. She also helps me process all of our new inventory when it comes in and take all the product photos that go up on our website. And of course, we have our two guys, Wyatt and Caleb, who are on our sponsored team. And then Caleb is very involved in the production process. He is the arm, you could say, of the channel, the right arm of Six Sided Discs. And we appreciate his athleticism and willingness to come out and film all of that with us on a regular basis. Everything that's going on here at Six Sided Discs would not be possible on my own. I can't do it all myself. So huge thank you to all of them for making this all possible. And hope you all appreciate all the work that they're doing behind the scenes as well. All right, another question from Jim3 on Discord. For me, which of our videos was the most challenging to produce and why? Each of our Flight Numbers Don't Matter videos requires a huge amount of effort to get done. We're testing and comparing 20 to 30 different discs, so I hope that extra effort is apparent in the final project. Really what that means, having that many discs to work with, is that we have to review that much more footage, trace that many more shots, make sure that we're getting a good representation of how those discs fly. So it is a lot of work to get those done, but by far the video that was the most work this year was our 5,000 subscriber special, which was honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. I hate that I had the idea and that I decided to go through with it. It was a ton of work. It took weeks. I mean, I think 6 weeks to film all the throws. We didn't get the video put out until we were almost over 6,000 subscribers. So the timing on it wasn't great, but I felt like once I committed to it, I really had to do it, especially since we started filming it at Idlewild, and some of the first throws were by, Chris Dickerson and Gannon Burr, and, the Terry Miller, of course, was such a delight. So having those cameos kind of told me, like, okay, well, I have to get this done. It was a ton of work. I edited it as I went. So luckily when we did the last few throws, it was pretty much done and I could just put it out there. But I'm a little concerned what kind of crazy idea I'm going to have for 10,000. So I don't know. If you get any suggestions, leave them in the comments. So thank you so much for those questions so far. Let's take a moment, though, to talk about some of the numbers from this year. And this has been a super popular trend, not just on YouTube, but on social media in general. I've seen UDisc year in review or Steam year in review. How many games have you played for how long? Which I don't know if I really want to know that. I should have probably been working instead. But YouTube sent out this year in review sort of recap of what your channel had done this year. And I found this really interesting, so I want to share it with all of you. We started January of 2023 with around 2,500 subscribers. Maybe 1,800 of which came from just that one video with Chris Dickerson. And we've added over 4,800 subscribers since then, which honestly blows my mind. Our channel, since we started, has around 900,000 lifetime views, over half of which came this year. We had 65 total uploads this year, including shorts, and our most popular video was our weight video that released the week we returned from Idlewild and included this gem of a cold open.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm looking for an Axiom Crave. Do you have any by chance in Fission?
Yeah, I think we have some. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Fission Crave.
Oh, this is sweet. I love the swirls. Oh, yeah, 166. Sorry, can't do it.
What weight were you looking for?
I'm looking for 167.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, it's just too flippy.
Okay.
Anyway, see ya.
All right. Have a good day.
It's all about that 1 gram. We were also on the road a lot this year. We set up our pop-up shop at 25 events this year in Ohio and Kentucky. We traveled over 3,000 miles between those events. In Ohio, we made it out to events in 10 different counties and handled payout for over half of those trips, providing amateur disc golfers in Central Ohio and beyond with one of the best payout experiences in the game. This year was way different than last year, though. I know a lot of people and a lot of podcast interviews have been talking about what's going on in the sport at large. Is disc golf still growing? Has it plateaued? Is it even contracting a little bit? So I think it's realistic to look at that crazy growth during COVID and say that that wasn't sustainable, that, we were never going to see that sort of growth continue. But what we've seen is a huge shift in our business. Online sales are a bit lower, but on-course sales are higher. We had our best year yet, but the way that we made that money was different than last year. All right, enough numbers. Back to the questions. This one from Discord, and Floop42 asks, any plans to start a brick and mortar store? So we've talked about it. It's definitely not something that's off the table, but we're really waiting for, right time, right price, right location. As much as I would like to have a brick and mortar store in town where the people are, so to speak, that's not necessarily where the disc golf courses are. And I think my long-term dream would be to own my own property large enough for a full 18-hole sized course, maybe a little pitch and putt course as well, a pro shop, something like that. So something where we can be kind of a home base for people to come to us and also be able to go out to courses and events and stuff like that. So it's not off the table, but it's not something that we're actively working on right now. Zach Anderson on Facebook says, more flight numbers don't matter and the plastic and the details videos. Very interesting how different discs and plastics change flight. Huge fan of the YouTube channel, especially being local to Newark, Ohio. Excited to see more in the next year. Thank you very much, Zach. Glad to hear you're enjoying the videos, and thank you so much for supporting us, not just in general, but also because you're from our local community here. We appreciate that. We'll keep trying to deliver the content that you're enjoying watching. At Munchie Lego on YouTube asks, will Six-Sided Discs ever do a training camp or get into teaching disc golf to the younger generation in schools or seminars? Love how much the channel and business has been growing. Much love to you and the Six-Sided fam this holiday. Happy holidays. Thank you so much for the question and for your kind words there, Munchie. Have we thought about teaching disc golf to younger people? Yeah, definitely. We have some connections in our local community. We've thought about trying to start up some sort of like school program, maybe where we go into gym classes or something like that. It's definitely something that I'm curious about, that I've thought about, but we haven't really pursued that. So I think if I had the right idea at the right time and I could connect with the right people, that is something that we might try. I don't know how well we'd be able to document that, because filming stuff in schools is kind of thumbs down big time. So, or I know at least some people have strong opinions about that, or what you can or can't show. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that's something that we should look into partnering with something like Uplay to see how they do what they do. I got to see the Uplay clinic when we were at Idlewild, and my son got to participate in it, and he had a great time. So maybe we could learn something from them or partner with them in some way. All right, before our last batch of questions, I want to take a moment to respond to some of your comments. So whether you actually see me reply or like or heart or pin one of your comments on the channel, I am reading them. In fact, I get email notifications about them still. I'm one of those crazy people. And so for better or worse, I am reviewing the comments. So let's respond to a couple right now. From our most recent Flight Numbers Don't Matter video on straight putters, Brian Bloom says, this is the video where you really needed to include a Loft Hydrogen, since they've made the claim that it's the straightest flying putter. So I actually did respond to this comment on the video itself. I don't know why I keep forgetting about Loft Discs. I think it's because they were like a Kickstarter, and maybe they still are, but they've sort of flown under my radar. I missed the Kickstarters early on. I've heard of them. I'm interested in them. I've felt a couple of their discs, but we've never had any, and I've never bought any for myself or for the business. So I don't have anyone to blame for that other than myself. I did actually look them up again recently. I don't even think it was for the video. I think I just kind of thought about it. So we will go ahead and look into that and try and get a hold of some Loft Discs. Maybe we'll put in one order and carry them for a little bit this season. And of course, we'll try and work them into some of our videos. And judging by the comments on the straightest flying putter video, we're going to need to do a part 2, because a lot of people had strong opinions about the discs that were left out. Which takes me to our next random comment from almost every video and dozens of people that all say something along the lines of, you didn't include my favorite disc in this video. And this is by far the most common comment we get on our big like disc comparison videos, Flight Numbers Don't Matter, or Plastic in the Details. And to that, all I can say is there's a lot of discs out there. We try to get as many as we can get, but we're also on a schedule. I set myself the challenge, I guess, of posting a video every week. And so that meant I had deadlines. And so there were certain times where I was waiting to get discs in, but discs weren't coming in, or they were taking too long to get here. And I had to go out and record that video and get it done on a certain day. And so that's what we had to do. The way that we've reworked our process and now having, I think, a healthier pipeline of content and better planning, we may be better at including more of those options, but there's always going to be something that gets left out. I can't test and compare 100 discs in one video. It's just not possible. But we'll certainly do our best to include as many as we can. So hopefully you'll continue to see your favorite discs. And as always, leave comments, tell us which ones we're missing, and we'll try and get them included in the next one. From Wuzzy Wug on YouTube, I fear not the man who has thrown 5,000 discs once, but I fear the man who has thrown one disc 5,000 times. Yeah, that was a journey. Like I mentioned earlier, honestly, I'm just glad I didn't have to do all of the throwing myself. I had help. I had, cameos from locals and from pros and all those cool people at Idlewild that jumped in. And then my son helped me at home as well. So throwing that disc 5,000 times was a journey. It was a ton of work, but it was fun. And I think we learned some interesting things along the way. Next, Master Big Bass or Big Bass. on YouTube asks, is it fishing or subwoofers or bass guitar? You let me know in the comments. They ask, how long does a mold sit on the shelf before you pull it and no longer sell it? Whether or not that is from being a niche disc or a terrible color. I would imagine you bring those colors to pop-up shops, to courses where that color is more easily found, like a green disc in the desert. This is a great question, although us being in Ohio, we don't get to the desert very often, but you're absolutely right. There are colors and types of plastics and, of course, brands that sell much better than others. Here in Ohio, Innova, Discraft, and MVP, I'd say, are our top three, but there's definitely some Castoplast fans, Trilogy fans, Doomsday. There's plenty of others. So, we try to carry a decent variety, but there are times when a certain disc at a certain time will come in a certain color and just go nowhere. The most obvious one, and I actually saw other people complain about it online, was when Discmania was releasing some of its new, remolded discs, like the new DD3 or MD3 or FD, PD, and they sent those out first in C-line plastic, which is that, of course, translucent blend. And I would say 75% of the discs we got in those orders were yellow or green, which in the spring and summer here is going to get lost in a wide open field of grass. So those discs took forever to sell. In fact, I think we still have a few, which puts them maybe a year and a half old that they've been sitting in inventory. But we're a small shop. We don't have crazy high turnover. We obviously are moving plastic, but we're not Infinite Discs. We're not OTB. We're a small organization. So, how do I get rid of those discs? Well, I certainly don't pull them. I don't, recycle them. They stay until I can find some way to let them go. Now, I might donate them as a CTP or a prize for a tournament or something like that. In some instances, somebody will order the right mystery box that fits what that disc is, and it'll work its way in there. But we try not to force it, and we try to make sure that whether you're ordering, one of our mystery boxes, our custom mystery box, or whatever, that we're giving the best plastic we can for that particular product. So, if it sits around for a while, it sits around for a while. But we try to, kind of rotate brands in and out. We carried RPM and Viking discs for a while, and right now I think we have, single digits of each of those brands, and we're kind of phasing them out for a little bit while we bring in some other newer brands like Doomsday, Trash Panda, stuff like that. From Adam Wakefield on Facebook, aka Just Some Rando on YouTube, what's the mold that you struggle to keep in stock? This is another great question, and I think at first I was thinking that maybe it was the molds that sell the best, like zones and glitches and buzzes and stuff like that. But because we know that those are bestsellers, we always just keep them stocked up, a couple dozen at a time. I think the thing that I'm always struggling to keep in stock are understable mid-ranges for a couple of reasons. Our most popular mystery box is our Technician box, which is sort of neutral to understable discs. And because most people go with like the standard driver mid-range putter setup in that box, we just have to move a lot of those mid-ranges. And for some reason, they're just not as prevalent from a lot of companies. There are even companies that don't have an understable mid-range in their lineup. Oh, okay. And so that is the exact disc that we can't get, is the Mint Discs Lobster. The Lobster is their understable mid-range, and I think they've done like 4 or 5 releases of it, and I have never been able to order one. I've had people ask me about it. I've tried to order it, and every time I get there, they're sold out. So I would have to say Mint Discs Lobster by far. Sean Williams on Discord asks, are you going to do any more Ohio disc golf course catalogs? I like course reviews, especially if it's in parts of Ohio I don't visit. Hey, Sean, thank you very much for asking. The Ohio disc golf course catalog, I would say right now is sort of shelved for the time being. While I enjoy doing it, it does take up a lot of time. I've got to travel out to a course, play the course, fly it with the drone, film a bunch of shots, and because of that, it's not that I'm not interested in it. And I do want to promote courses around the state, but I think I need to find a way, maybe someone to partner with me on that who's willing to go out and get those shots. And then maybe we narrate those videos and kind of partner on it. But I think for now, that's a project that maybe will come back in the future, but at the moment we're working on other things. So thank you so much to everybody that sent in questions and comments. We really appreciate you taking the time and showing an interest in everything that we're doing. I'm still just super humbled by all the people that are willing to watch our videos and leave comments, and they're from Iceland and Denmark and all over the world. So it's just been incredible. Thank you so much for that. Let's talk just briefly about plans for 2024. We are, of course, still looking to deliver the best content that we can week after week, and we're looking for new ways to do that. Obviously, we just recently launched our podcast, All Six Sides, where we're interviewing cool, influential people within the world of disc golf, starting with Scott Stokely. We'll have an episode coming out with AGL owner Josh Jones very soon, and we're working on plans to interview several others in the early part of 2024. We're also still looking to provide the best pop-up shop and payout experience possible to our local community and beyond. So if you're hosting a tournament in 2024 and you want Six-Sided Discs to be there, we will bring our whole pop-up shop experience to you. About 800 discs in stock with accessories, bags, double G jerky, and so much more. So if you're interested, contact us, sixsideddiscs.com. Leave a comment below. You know how to get a hold of us. We'll look forward to seeing you out there. We also can't wait to continue supporting our really close local events with the Columbus Flyers, the Licking Legends Club, and just general disc golf stuff happening around Central Ohio. This is our home base. It's where we're from. It's where we're from. It's who we hope to it's where we hope to build and grow the sport. So we look forward to seeing all of our locals out there as much as possible as well. And I know I've said it a million times in this video, but just thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being interested in what we're doing. Thank you for, buying your Christmas gifts through us for the disc golf people in your life. It means a lot, and we're going to continue to try and repay that trust and that support in whatever way we can. Huge shout out to our patrons, as always. You're going to see their names scrolling right here, right now. Normally save it for the end, but thank you to every single one of you. There's even a patron in there whose currency I can't even pronounce. I just never thought that would be a thing for what we do. So thank you so much. I don't know what I thought this channel was going to be when we got started, but for Six-Sided Discs, I'm Greg. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the next one. If you like this content and want to see more, please consider liking the video, subscribing to our channel, or supporting us on Patreon. Your support makes this content possible.